with Will Smith, you've been talking about kind of how he's been building up. How did he come out of just the game yesterday, coming into today? And is there still hope that he could be starting tomorrow in Game 3?
Yeah, there is hope. I think he came out of it well. Haven't seen him today yet. We'll see him out there at the workout. So I'll make that decision tomorrow. But there's each day it's gotten better, and so I feel more confident that he'll be able to start.
Can we go to Jack?
I know you don't want to box Roki in as like just a closer, but moving forward, if you haven't used him in a game when you get to the ninth and there is a save situation, like, do you anticipate him kind of being even more of your primary option in that spot?
He's definitely the primary option now. I think that there's a build up. There's also a component that we have to win X amount of more games, and he's not going to close every game. It's just not feasible. So you've got to use other guys. And so, but I think that to the question, yeah, if it makes sense, he'll definitely be finishing games.
Especially considering he's only pitched 5 times for you guys since coming back. Like, what is that balance, especially with his workload and figuring out how much you can push him versus trying to still,
That's right, Jack. It's a balance. This is something he's never done, and you're expecting to go a few more weeks, and so all that stuff has to play in that a lot of people just don't have any appreciation for.
Fabian?
Dave, obviously you've had to rely a lot on non-traditional relievers for piece games together. How difficult is that balance versus, obviously you want to win these games, but also try to keep other guys going, get other guys going that you're going to have to rely on over the course.
That's right. That's everything. If there is a world where you can use 5 pitchers and finish a postseason and win the postseason, I think a lot of people would sign up for that, but that's impossible. So you've got to use your roster at certain times and kind of pick spots where you feel best and live with whatever outcome. But that's just the way it goes to win for us this year, 13 games in October. But very well-framed question, and but yeah, the more you see guys and give guys opportunities, you see how they respond, and it certainly helps my decision-making going forward.
And with the lineup tomorrow, what does them going with Nola do to sort of change sort of how you construct who's in there?
It doesn't do a whole lot outside of Max will be in the lineup. Miggy Rowe won't be in there. Then I've got to certainly make the decision on Will versus Ben to start the game, but that has no bearing on who the starting pitcher is for them.
Okay, can I go to Bill on the left?
Yeah, Dave, Harper and Schwarber are 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts. What's been the key to keeping them in check?
I think the main thing is we've attacked those guys. We haven't been scared off using the fastball. I think we crowd them just enough. I think we go soft just enough, and I think we change eye level. So up to this point, we've done a really nice job of keeping those guys at bay. So we still got some work to do, and try to keep those guys asleep.
A couple of years ago, Freddie and Mookie had one of those kind of series. How frustrating is it, or what do you see happening when 2 such important components to a team are struggling at such an important part of the season?
Puts a lot of pressure on everyone. The people around them. We've lived it, as you said, Bill. The players around them puts pressure on them. Certainly on the 2 superstars, puts pressure on them to try to perform. But that's what the postseason is all about.
Can I go Sonia in the middle?
Dave, kind of going back to the bullpen, with some of the non-traditional relievers that you're relying on, do you see a need to get guys like Roki and Emmett to potentially do back-to-backs at some point when the series warrants it?
Yeah, I mean, it's this is like certainly it's all kind of uncharted territory for everyone, and so there's a balance of trying to build up some type of consistency to then, get to the next, graduation point as far as back-to-backs or whatever it is. And so, and there's no guarantee what the stuff's going to be like, so that's stuff that the pitching coaches talk about, because we know our players better than anyone. And so those are things that we talk about daily to, again, put our players in the best position. So, I would love to have, Roki throw every single day if he could, but that's just not feasible. So again, we have a lot of conversations, and then I make my decision.
Before you see it in a game, what can kind of tell you that, Roki would be ready for that?
Talking to Bardo, Connor, Mark, their catch play, how they're feeling, how the ball's coming out, versus other days when they get more rest.
We're going to go over here to Bob in the front row.
Hey, there was so much made last night, of course, of the wheel play with Mookie. Of all the guys you played with, coached, managed, where does he rank among just baseball acumen?
He's up there. I played with Robbie Alomar, Omar Vizquel, some great ones. And, Mookie is up there. Alex Cora. But Mookie's up there. I think that, especially as an outfielder for the most part of his career, to then come into the infield, he's got, a lot of feel. And he's got a lot of belief in his ability. And he made a great play, really, really great play yesterday.
And you guys ever talk baseball strategy?
All the time. We talk all the time, offensively, defensively, approach, what pitchers are trying to do defensively, and he and I have a unique relationship. We talk baseball all the time.
Okay, Michael in the middle.
Hey, Dave. A few weeks ago, I asked you about the balance with Blake Trinan from his postseason pedigree, especially last year's run, and I guess what he struggled in September of his recent run. And then last night in the ninth, it looked a lot like here against the Phillies when he gave up 3 runs here in September, and when he was bad over the last month, struggling, it looked like that. So how does that change when you want to utilize him or use him going forward now?
Yeah, I think the look of a player matters to me. I felt that he was gaining some momentum before that last one. So I'll check in on him. But, there's ways of how you go about an outing, successful or not successful. And, how a player carries themselves matters to me. So there was definitely a different look. Which, he's got great pedigree in biggest of spots, but, I just didn't see that edge last night that I know that I've seen it many times over.
There you go, Jay.
Hi, Dave. Is there any update on Mickey Lowe?
No, not yet. I know that, the hamstring tweaked it a little bit. Obviously having today off, he won't start tomorrow, but I'm sure he'll be ready for whatever, we need from him tomorrow in the game. But, I think he'll be okay. Thanks, Jay.
So Tommy has an ankle issue and Mickey has a hamstring. So 2 of your middle infielder has some injury issues. So do you feel comfortable about that depth of your infielders right now?
I feel comfortable with Max Muncy. I feel comfortable with Tommy starting the game. I feel comfortable, with Kike coming in at some point if he needs to. And obviously I feel comfortable with Hae-Sung in playing infield. So certainly having him on the roster allows for us to, protect ourselves and potentially use him if the time calls for it.
Dave, just back to Mookie for a second. How impressive is that for a guy to go from being a Gold Glove right fielder to now making, the plays that everyone's talking about in the postseason at the hardest position in the sport?
Well, I think, point of easy, context is it's never been done, so to go out there and play Gold Glove right field for years and to be in the Gold Glove conversation this year, rightfully so, to play in the biggest of games, biggest of stages, it's just never been done. So it takes a special brain and talent to do it.
Okay, we're going to finish up here with Jack.
With Emmett last night, especially with Schwarber and Harper coming up, what just gave you the confidence to leave him in that spot, and how much did you learn about him and the trust that you can have in him in those situations moving forward from how he responded.
Yeah. I think it just went back to his last start against the Reds, or his last outing against the Reds out of the pen. And I just felt that, how he came out of it mentally, physically, he was in a good spot. And so allowed me not to run from him in another big spot, which clearly in that environment was a big spot. And I just trusted that he can go out there and make pitches. And he did that first inning, and Kepler, I think, lined an 0-2 breaker that didn't get to the dirt, and he managed that inning, and I just felt that the stuff was still real good. He wasn't going to run from those guys at the top, and I trusted him. And so I just felt in that moment he was the best option, and it proved to be right.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Yep, thanks.